my name is Justin. Thank you for choosing the indoor King Stropharia Mushroom Patch from Fungi Perfecti. The King Stropharia has many common names, a few of which include the garden giant, the burgundy mushroom, and the wine cap mushroom. All of these refer to the same species, Stropharia rugosa annulata. It's a choice edible and one of my favorites, with a texture very similar to the portobello mushroom. Over the course of the 16-week lifespan of this kit, you should be able to harvest 1 to 2 pounds of fresh mushrooms, and after you're done, use it to start your very own outdoor mushroom patch. But let's start at the beginning. Inside the box, you should have several things. The first thing should be your bag of casing. The next, an instruction booklet, a humidity tent, and the mushroom patch itself. The mushroom patch consists of mycelium, enriched sawdust, and wood chips. The mycelium is the main body of the fungal organism. The sawdust and wood chips are the food that it uses to make mushrooms. The first thing I want to show you is the instruction booklet. You're going to want to read through this first to make sure that you get all the information you possibly can before you get started. And if you have any questions, our phone number is on the back. You can call us anytime. The first thing that you want to do is you want to cut the tape that's holding the top of the bag down. Then you want to pull the bag up, like so, and open it, like this. The next thing you want to do is cut the top of the bag off just below this white filter patch here. Now that you've done that, it's time to put the casing on. Casing is important because it regulates the moisture content, temperature, and air exchange at the surface of the kit. It also has a low nutrient content that tells the kit that it's time to produce mushrooms. In order to prepare the casing, you need to take the bag of it, open it up, and empty it into a large bowl or a bucket. The next thing you're going to want to do is start adding water. Make sure that while you do so, you're stirring it up and mixing it with your hands so that it gets moist nice and evenly. When it looks like you've had enough water added, take a handful of it and squeeze it. If moisture comes out between your fingers, like so, there's too much. And what you're going to want to do is use a colander to press out any excess liquid. Once you have your casing to the proper moisture content, distribute it evenly over the top of the mushroom patch in a 2 to 2.5 inch thick layer. Don't worry if you don't use all of your casing. I like to gently pat mine down just a little bit once I've got it on. Now that we've got the casing layer applied, let's put on the humidity tent. What you're going to want to do is open it up and roll the bottom of it like a pant leg till it gets to the point where when you place it over your mushroom patch like so, there are 2 to 3 inches between the top of the bag and the top of the humidity tent. Now that we've set up our mushroom patch, it's time to find a good place to put it. There are several things that you need to keep in mind when you're choosing your location. The first thing is that the King Stropharia mushroom likes to grow in a temperature range of 60 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It can survive outside this temperature range, but results can be very unpredictable if you do so. The next thing that you need to remember is that mushrooms do require some ambient light, although they do not like direct sunlight because they can get easily sunburned and dry out very quickly. And the last thing is to put your mushroom patch somewhere highly visible so that you'll be able to easily remember to water it. The King Stropharia Mushroom Patch likes a humidity of 80 to 90%. In order to achieve that, you need to water the inside of the humidity tent 2 to 3 times a day, thusly. And you need to water the top of the casing 2 to 3 times a week, like this. One thing that you need to remember is not to use distilled or chlorinated water. If all you have access to is chlorinated water, you can pour some of it into a pot and leave it out overnight. That should be enough time for the chlorine to dissipate so that you can use the water for your mushroom patch. Now that we've set up your patch, found a place for it, and established a watering routine, all we need is patience, because it's going to be at least a month until you get your harvest of mushrooms. First 2 weeks of the growing cycle, you should see rhizomorphs start to form. They'll appear as white tendrils creeping through the casing layer. After a month, you should start to look for baby mushrooms to form, or primordia. They'll be on the top of the casing layer. Once you see these, continue to water as normal until it's time to harvest. You'll know it's time to harvest when you look under the cap and see that the veil has broken. Make sure you get them harvested before the cap flattens out, as this is a sign that the mushrooms have passed their prime. There are two main harvesting techniques for Stropharia mushrooms. First, you can take a clean, sharp knife and cut the mushroom at the base of the stem, as close to the casing layer as possible. And secondly, you could take the entire mushroom and gently twist and pull until the mushroom, the stem, and the stem butt have all been removed from the casing layer. If you do this, you can use the stem butt to inoculate an outdoor patch. For information on how to do this, you can see Mycelium Running by Paul Stamets. After you've got your first flush, continue watering your kit for a second and even third flush. If you've watered your kit for another month and still see no new primordia forming, it could be that it's exhausted its food supply. If that's the case, just take it outside and use it to start a brand new outdoor mushroom patch. In order to do this, check out the instruction booklet that came with your kit, or visit us at fungi.com or our YouTube channel. Thanks for choosing Fungi Perfecti, and enjoy your mushrooms.